raided the Lux Girl trousers for a candy kitten. You want candy kitten?
Yes, please. Always.
Watermelon.
I love one.
You need one.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the SheerLuxe Team Podcast. I'm Georgie Coleridge Cole, the founder and CEO of SheerLuxe, and I am thrilled to be joined by SheerLuxe's founding managing editor, Laura Black, by friend, family member, Tobi Asari, and the wonderful, SheerLuxe beauty contributor, Georgia Day. Morning, ladies.
Morning.
I feel like we have to start today. I'm talking to three mothers. We're also going to talk about your book and blending motherhood and career life. But today is World Book Day. When this comes out, it will be long behind us. I mean, what do they go as? How have you got through it?
Do you care?
Do you care? No, but do you want to spend £30 on a Dalmatian
No,
onesie on Amazon? No, I don't.
No.
So she bought it anyway, and it didn't arrive.
Oh, great.
I had to make a knight's sword wrapped in foil, and then a protest board saying, "Please use me more." Do you get what that is? It's the book about the crayons.
Oh, I love the crayons. It's beige. Is it beige?
It's green.
It's
She went
green.
green.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we thought green wasn't overly used. It's not
That
red,
is such a good book.
I don't know that book.
So she went in they weren't Brandy Melville, some other like sloppy green trouser, a Free People green bomber. of
Wow.
mine, and I
That.
made her a board with a green crayon stuck to it saying, "Please use me more."
That's awesome.
I said, was
love
that Greta Thunberg?
I don't know this crayon book.
Oh, it's really
I need to
good.
look
It's so
into
good
it.
and it's so true. Like everything they write about each colour of the crayons in the box is so true.
Wow.
Yellow.
Okay.
I'm always the sun. What if I want to be something else fabulous and not just the sun?
Oh, yeah.
And then beige is like, you never use me. Why you can't even see me? What's the point?
Oh,
Why is there a white crayon in the box?
Exactly.
So
It's so
interesting.
good. It's really good.
cute.
So that was my house this morning. Absolute freaking chaos. What have yours gone as?
I tried to approach it in a more organised way and went on Sunday. I was like, right, let's get this sorted.
Yeah.
And
Sold out.
no, because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
Refusing,
anything.
yeah,
Refusing.
yeah.
Anyway, 2 hours later, I think nobody was speaking. We were all really cross. Nobody could find. Then somebody wanted to be a soldier, but there was no book that I could find that had a soldier in it. Literally, I can't bear it. In the end, my daughter wanted to go as a gymnast. I said, fine, you've got to find a book with a gymnast in. So she found one. And then I said, it was quite a thick book. I said, well, your teacher's going to ask you what it's about, so you better read it. Anyway, she read it.
Oh,
like, yes!
for her.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So she's gone in as a gymnast with a big hula hoop and probably
you
awful
know
for
what,
school.
Laura?
She's got makeup on and
Oh,
everything.
God.
I thought last night as I was saying to Coco, what are you going to be going to me? And then this morning I was like, Laura would have nailed this.
No.
She would have made the most amazing.
I
costume.
used to, but I've lost. My sister's a teacher, and she made the other day a big Little Miss Sunshine out of cardboard. Absolutely amazing. I was like, you have sorted it. Thank
Teachers
you
are the
so
best,
much.
aren't
Yeah, but no, now they're a bit older.
I think it should
It's too
come.
young.
Yeah.
It should also come with a condition that you're not. Sorry, Jeff Bezos, you made enough money. It should come with a condition that you're not allowed to
buy.
use
I think
Amazon
so.
or Primark,
Yeah.
and you have to either swap with someone. It's supposed to be in a sustainable era. The sustainable era.
We had quite a good thing on our class WhatsApp group. People swapping costumes from last year.
Yeah,
and
we
kind of
did
thing,
that
which is quite
actually too.
nice.
Yeah.
Offering
get
them
that.
up and seeing if anyone wants. But my kids are football mad, and so only wanted to go as footballers.
Great. Is there a book with footballers in?
Well,
Loads. David
loads.
Beckham's
So
really
it's
amazing.
fine.
Yeah.
But there's a series that they're obsessed with. And then there's one. So Edie went as Harry Kane.
Great.
And
Marcus Rashford. He's
Yeah,
really
he's really
and Arlo went as Lionel Messi.
perfect.
And they have both read the books.
Great.
But basically, it was just an excuse to wear a football kit.
I'm
And
fine with that.
I just couldn't be doing with the drama.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine, yeah, okay, done. And I don't have to buy anything, I don't have to do anything. And they'd even laid their clothes out the night before.
Oh.
So they were
funny now when you get to a football kit.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I have children at 2 different schools, and one of them, they're not at school today because they're striking. So I have it drawn out over 2 days.
Oh,
I've
poor
got it
you.
tomorrow too.
That's hell.
Excellent.
Large glass of wine tonight for you, Laura. Yeah.
So exciting.
Are yours at school today?
They are at school
I really
today.
hope so, given that you said you've already been on BBC Radio this morning.
Yeah.
And here you are looking like spring personified.
And it's still only 10 a.m.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't see them this morning though because I was doing radio, but they did have a dress rehearsal last night, so they put on their
Wow.
costumes,
Sweet.
and I saw them last night. But they know how to use Amazon now, which is really scary because they're 5 and 3. So they literally said, Mummy, can you type in kids' costumes and we'll find what we want and we'll put it in our basket and we'll order it.
Type in, so they haven't discovered that if you press the microphone, they can dictate.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Goodness
is
me.
that true on Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we got our costumes.
We're going to start off today with what everyone had for breakfast, because I always really liked this chat, and we were doing a sound check before we went live, and I was like, oh, save it. You said something about sweet and salty peanut butter. I was like, I need to hear about this.
So Tor said to me, so this morning I had a piece of toast with peanut butter on it, because Tor said to me the other day, she was having her something very wholesome, and I said, oh God, I've just had a piece of toast with peanut butter, and she said that's fine, because the rule is if you're having carbs, you've got to dress your carbs. So you've got to put protein on your carbs, and it has literally stuck with me.
I like that.
Anyway, I had to buy some new peanut butter the other day, and there was a sweet and salty by Pip and Nut, and it is excellent. If you haven't tried it, try it.
Do you have any
So
like
yummy.
chopped banana on there, Laura? Or anything
No,
like that?
but I should do.
Wow.
No.
Amazing.
How did you think of that?
Because that's what I
Essentially,
have.
it's sweet.
When I have peanut butter on toast, I always do
You
chopped
put
banana.
banana on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
used to
that's
do that
good
Because
fun.
it's good, fibre
Bit
and
extra.
potassium and all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Toby, what did you have for breakfast?
Oh, I didn't eat this morning.
Because you got up so
Because
early.
I got up
for
so early to prep for BBC London, and then I rushed here in a taxi, and I was actually supposed to have a call in the taxi, and then I was kind of reading through my emails, and somebody was like, oh, are you still available for that call? I was like, oh my goodness, that's the whole reason I got this taxi, was so I could have this call in the car, and I completely forgot. So my morning has been interesting, no breakfast.
How was
this morning.
BBC Radio?
Really, really, really good. I was really nervous because it's radio and you don't get to re-record and you can't say anything naughty, and but yeah, it was really good. I only told my parents and my husband about it, but I'm going to tell the world about it, that I've done it now. That I've done it.
This is your chance.
God.
Yes, this is my chance.
What were you talking about?
So they give you 3 random topics in the morning. So you literally have like 15 minutes to prep on those topics. So they gave me one which was nice, which was flexible working. I was like, tick, I could do that. Then we spoke about a man who runs a marathon a day. Then we spoke about the most expensive house that's been put up for sale in London. And then
what's the answer?
it's 250 million and it's in Regent's Park.
Wow.
As that's up for sale. And then we spoke about how M&S have put some daffodils in the vegetable pile. And obviously customers are really upset because daffodils are poisonous if you eat them. And I was like, that person should have gone to
Is that right? I
Specsavers.
didn't know that, right?
Yeah,
Daffodils?
I didn't know that either.
No.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, it's like quick fire radio. You've got 20
That's
minutes.
fun.
It's
I
very
like that.
fun.
But one is so we're going to come on to Toby's book, The Blend. But what is it? Sort of come on and you can talk about one thing that you want to talk about, and then
No, surprise. It was the first time I've done it. So they were very kind, giving me a topic that I can talk about, because that, I think, then it helps ease you in and give you confidence for the rest of the
what
show.
a nice way to do
So,
that. We need to do that.
really cool.
Georgia, what did you have for breakfast?
I had lots of coffee, obviously, and a protein smoothie, which I'm trying to do more of.
Did you make it?
I did.
What's in it?
Oat milk, whatever frozen veg, fruit or veg is in the freezer. So I think I had frozen mango and then some frozen spinach, bit of protein powder, some collagen, which I've just started taking, some flaxseed, and a couple of dates. And some oat milk.
I love
That sounds
it.
good.
And some peanut butter, obviously.
And does that
Yeah.
keep you full?
It does actually, and often I don't feel like eating that much. I'm not super
thing.
hungry first thing, yeah. So it kind of it's enough, kind of it's digestible for me, and it really fills you up. Yeah, it's good. My kids have a smoothie every morning as well, so
Do they?
yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a few smoothies, and actually I put protein powder in. Tell you what I had this morning. I haven't finished it yet.
You're a trooper.
Do you think? I actually really
I
like
really
it.
like kefir, yeah.
I'm just gonna down it.
Maybe it's because I don't actually like milk or dairy products that
Oh
much.
yeah.
I don't either though, but I really like.
I tried one day, so I was like, I'm going to be really healthy, like, make sure my gut is healthy.
Yeah.
I put this on my Instagram yesterday morning because I went to a meeting really early and I grabbed one, got in the cab, and I put it on my Instagram. My friend who's a nutritionist was like, "Well done!" I was like,
So it
"Oh,
just tastes like yogurt.
It's a bit like yop.
It's slightly tangy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It tastes very fermented.
Yeah.
You can taste it. You can taste it a bit. No, I really, really like it. And do you know what else I've had? Do you know Joe's sourdough? Is he called Joe?
Jason's.
Jason.
Oh
yes.
my god. It's
Jason,
the
you have
best.
changed my life.
Jason's
I love you,
changed
Jason.
my life.
Who are you, Jason?
Yeah.
Come forward, Jason. It is so good. Laura, have you not had it?
No.
Oh,
Does it come in a clear with the
Blue.
Blue.
Yes.
I have had it. It's excellent.
There's a pepper
Oh,
as well.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's like
chewy
Sebastian
and
chewy.
tangy
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and oh,
the
yeah.
best is Put it in the microwave. And you went.
No, that's talking to me.
Is a must.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It makes it a bit more
Do you
chewy.
not put bread in the microwave?
I've literally never heard of this.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like a tiny bit. I mean, I'm quite a tiny bit of butter, like spreadable.
Yeah.
And then a bit of Marmite or jam.
So if you love microwave bread, which I now know you do, you have to go to this restaurant called Chapter One. It's probably the opposite side of London for you.
Okay,
It's
I'll go
in,
for microwave bread.
It's in Farnborough. I think it does have a Michelin star, but their bread, it tastes like a croissant that's been microwaved, that's just had a dollop of butter just dropped on the top, but not too
Toby,
much
let's
butter.
go and celebrate.
Let's go and celebrate the book. And they do something called a champagne called Perfume, if you're into pear, and it's got like pear liqueur, and sometimes in Christmas they might put some cinnamon on it, and it's champagne.
Ooh.
It's, one
That
of my
sounds excellent.
favourite
Can I
places.
tell you that we were just chatting to Hodge about what our topics were today, and she was like, so Hodge and I went to see a play called Lemons this week with Jenna Coleman. I forget his name, but he was amazing. It was a 2-man play, and the sort of plot is it's this couple and it's their relationship, and then at the same time there's this law coming in that says you only have 140 characters to use a day. So I think it was written at the time when Twitter brought in that 140 character limit. Anyway, it was amazing acting, I have to say, like really amazing acting. And Jenna Coleman, I think she's just such a talent.
Yeah.
And afterwards we went, it was really nice. It was 85 minutes, no interval. So it was done by 9:15, which was great. And we then went to Langan's for one course. We went for tuna tartare
Yum.
with black truffle yuzu.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
delicious.
And the bread, because the bread at Langan's, and Hodge is like, you see, you judge a restaurant by its bread. And the bread at Langan's is, it's one of those like domed one, a bit like at the Ivy.
so
Do you
good.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's got a salt on top.
Oh, the salt.
So
No,
good.
2 places for bread, sorry.
Go.
Sorry. I think it's called Chameleon in Marylebone. I don't know if it's still open, where they've got these outside, inside, almost like greenhouses, and you can have almost like a greenhouse for you and your guests. Their bread, I think it's like Middle Eastern food. Their bread, insane. And then another place is Gaucho, and I don't know if they still do it. They do like the cheesy bread dough balls with the chimichurri sauce. I'm all about bread in restaurants.
I am too. I'm not mad on cheese. I mean, I'm up for the croissant stuff.
I
microwave
don't like
cheese.
cheese at all.
Yeah,
but
but it's good.
I can have that.
Well, Hodge and I were also just saying that Algiranguito in Ibiza does like literally the best bread when on
You're making me really
on
hungry
day 2
now.
of your trip when you're a bit hungover and you're like, sod the beach bod, I'm eating them, eating all bread. Tell me what you've been up to. What are you watching? Reading?
Don't ask me what I'm watching, because I'm watching Love Island, which it's just...
Are you?
Yes. I've got
Are
totally...
you?
I know, and I got totally sucked in, but now I'm in.
Gets
I've got to
you.
see it through.
Toby, are you managing to read, watch anything? I mean, this is women with 2 children, full-time job. I mean, it's not even a side hustle. Like, it's another business. And now you're a published author.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
So exciting. Thank you. Yeah, I normally will have a moment, like a downtime, a bit of switch off, but at the moment it is just, I don't know how I'm doing it each day, to be honest, because it's a full-on day job, which I love and I want to be fully present in. And then there's, getting the message out about the book, which is actually quite similar to my day job because I have to get the message out about a particular business.
So Toby works in media as a business development director,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Big media agency, and you're quite grown up there, and you also have My Bump Pay,
Yeah.
and now
Now the book.
the
It's
book,
crazy.
the blend.
Yeah, I feel like it's the ultimate test of my personal blend.
You are living.
I'm
Yeah.
living the blend on the extreme version, and when this period is over, I'm gonna sit in a corner and lie down and go to the spa. Is what I've said to myself.
Have you got something?
Yes.
Have you got
So,
something in the diary on the
few
horizon?
friends of ours, and actually my company's amazing. They have a wellness day coming up, which is like amazing. So we're going to go to South Lodge, which is in Horsham, which is not too far, and we're just going to have a nice, lovely.
What happens
Oh,
at South
so
Lodge? Is it a
nice.
spa?
It's a spa, so it's part of the same group that owns Penny Hill.
Oh, right.
But a little bit more modern, a little bit more chic. So yeah, we're going to go to South Lodge, and then coming up in the summer, a few weeks after that, we're going to go to Sani, so that'd be really nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
Have you been there before?
we have been there before.
I thought you had,
Yeah,
yeah.
as soon as we left, we're like, book it again.
Oh.
That
Have you
is
been
so
there more than once?
good. No, I've only been there once, sorry.
So I have this theory, which I've stolen from actually Polly RFD, who said twice is the optimum amount of times
I completely
to
agree.
go somewhere, because
Really?
the first time you go, you don't know, you hope it's going to be great, and then the second, you're so excited to be going again. Third time, you start to pick
Niggle.
holes.
Yeah, I
And
completely
so
agree with that.
cut your ties after 2 and just say it was
I
wonderful,
don't
and then
know.
go next door somewhere else.
Unless there's somewhere else in the world, and tell me if there is, that has amazing facilities in the way that they do for
There are.
kids.
Georgia, any family holiday favourites?
My parents have a house in southern Italy, in Puglia. So last year we
Dying
went.
to go there.
Oh, you have to. It's so
Dying
beautiful. Last year we went for a month, and my husband drove down with the dogs, and I flew down with the kids, and we just had a month of like.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He drove with the dogs, you
Yeah.
flew with the kids. I'm just trying to work out which is the
I
better
think he
deal.
lucked out
I would
there.
drive with the dog.
No, see,
Really?
that's
Dogs
what
at a
he thought.
petrol station, that's
He
a
was
ball.
really looking forward to it. He thought, like,
I love the
he
way
had his-
that's the way all of our
Yeah.
minds go.
I'll take the dog with
well,
me.
I think maybe for us, maybe for me, it would have been better actually. Like, but he had all his podcasts lined up. He got all these snacks, like everything. Like, really was really looking forward to it. And it was just a bit of a slog.
It's a long way, isn't
He was
it?
driving for 17 hours on one day, and I think he underestimated how exhausting it is.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
also underestimated how boring it is.
Yeah.
Because
When you're not
apparently-
screaming at your children and
Yeah.
stuff
yeah, when you get to sort of like northern Italy, it's literally one road straight
Right, yeah.
down with kind of the same scenery really. And he was like, I wasn't prepared for how monotonous it was. And I had a great time with the kids because I didn't have any luggage because he took everything. My oldest two were so helpful, like just really excited to be going on a little adventure. Rudy slept in his buggy the whole time.
And he is what now?
He's one.
He's one. And your other two are, I remember thinking, she's had another. Your other two, because you've got
10
quite a big
and
gap
7.
between
Yeah.
2 and 3,
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
you?
yeah.
And how's that been?
Amazing. Do you know, amazing. It's one of the most unexpected joys of my life, actually, because I wasn't prepared. I sort of had in my head that I wanted 3, if it worked out. And I was always thinking that we'd have a closer age gap than we have, and how life just works out. And so I was thinking, oh God, is it going to be really weird, the dynamic, having that big age gap? But honestly, it's just been the loveliest thing.
For
because-
all of you,
for
probably.
all of us,
Yeah.
because we're so much more relaxed because, we've had years of getting some decent sleep and, you mellow out, don't you, and stuff like that. And the older two are old enough to really enjoy him and love looking after him, fight over who gets to carry him.
That's
so
and
lovely.
that's such a difference, isn't it?
And plus, they're at school all day, so
You really enjoy
you
him.
really can enjoy him, and he's just a little dumpling. He's just
he's so-
smiley
he looks
and
so sweet.
he just, and I think because it's the 3rd and there's so much going on, he just sort of sits and
Yeah.
takes it all in.
Well, he's
and
so
just-
entertained by everybody else going around.
Yeah. So it's lovely.
So you came back to work quite quickly, didn't
Well,
you?
I didn't have any time off with him. Yeah. So I
But
was working.
you're freelance, so
But I'm freelance and I
you know,
don't have to,
that's part of the
jump
beauty
on
of
the
it and
commute.
why you do it. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is very different from my other two situations because I was working in an office for both of them. So, it's
a lot harder.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to come on to that, but I am just going to take a moment for a shout out for Full Swing, which is what I'm watching at the moment, which is about golf. And do you know what it is? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But I'm not into golf at all.
No, I'm not
No,
either.
neither am I.
But
Okay.
wasn't into Formula One either.
Yeah,
so it
true.
kind of-
And the new series has just come out,
Yeah.
so I've got one more Full Swing left, which is all about McIlroy. So I'm really
Very interesting.
excited to watch that one. I love a documentary, and it's just amazing. The more and more you learn about something or you talk to someone, the more interesting you find it. I really believe that. Like, if there was a docu-series on stamp collectors, I'm sure I'd be fascinated by it. I remember watching a documentary on people who are obsessed with Lego, and there was a guy who had a separate house for just a house, didn't live in it, just for his Lego. Anyway, Full Swing it's really, really good, and it's the characters and their families, and anyway, I love it. There's one about racing apparently as well.
Yeah,
about
I'm
horse
really
racing.
looking forward to that one.
Which
It's
I
not out there yet, though, is it?
Oh, I think
is it?
someone said it was. Maybe it's not. I was surprised that we hadn't featured
I don't
it.
think it is. I from a family of jockeys, and I feel like there's quite a lot of
Are any
interest
of
from
them
our side.
are any of them
Not
in
that
it?
I know of.
And that's the
Intense.
same with golfers,
Yeah.
and this one golfer sort of quite criticised because he takes his family. They're like a sort of travelling circus on the tour, and then you've got other golfers who are just machines, and they're quite selfish. And I suppose a lot of athletes have to be.
I think that's the
and
world of
you
elite
do appreciate,
sport,
yeah.
isn't it?
Can I ask you what you're all wearing? As you all look great, really nice blazers going on here.
Is your one Zara? I feel like I tried your one on when I did a.
And it's
really
really,
Zara
it's in the
haul.
sale. Obviously,
it?
I
Yeah, it's
didn't get it
really
in the
nice.
sales,
It's
obviously.
slightly lighter than this one, and it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite as wintry.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that Bash?
Yeah. My leathers are Claudie.
Sorry if you're listening, not watching, but I want to know.
So they're sort of high-waisted peg leg leathers from Claudie Piello in the sale. And I really struggle with trousers because I'm quite small. But I was saying to Georgie earlier that I've just discovered the seam, which is now like
I use them.
absolute lifesaver. Shout out to
Alterations.
Francesca, yes, who came to my house, collected everything, brought
Can
it
I
back.
just say, the marketplace, by marketplace, I mean a place where you can go on and access sort of freelance, so freelance talent or, other services. So the seam is people who they might be fashion designers, they might be seamstresses, they might work in-house somewhere for alterations, but when they've got free time, if they're freelance, then they can go on and you can access them, and the marketplace takes a commission. I mean, different ones have different business models. It's like Secret Spa accessing
Exactly.
makeup.
Amazing.
There's one for models now. There's a
yeah.
model marketplace. So if you don't want to go through a big agency, which is sort of great for us and a
amazing.
smaller business, you can go onto this model marketplace where if you're a model and Models One haven't booked you for something and you've got 3 hours,
You can just
Great.
step up.
or you want to be a part-time hand model, or you
Yeah.
and there's one called Borrow My Doggy. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Yes, my neighbours do that.
Yeah, I've just signed up to it, although you don't want suits, she's bound to school.
Just don't go in their school if you borrow a
She's
suit.
really sweet. Oh
So
God.
cute.
And you don't pay people. My stepmom uses it, and they just come pick up the dog.
Yeah, because they just want to
They
be
want a dog, but they
yeah.
can't
Dog
have dogs.
around,
They
yeah.
work, whatever. And there's one called Trusted House Sitters. Have you heard of that?
No.
Heard of it, yes.
Yeah. So we're going away for a period of time, and there are quite a lot of burglaries where we live in the holidays. I think we know that everyone goes away, and so yeah. When we went to California last summer, we used a car sharing marketplace,
perfect
and
for
we
holiday.
rented someone's
Wow.
Tesla off them. It was this woman.
So great.
She left it at the airport. We picked it up. I mean,
Amazing.
it's really
Yeah.
That kind of stuff makes so much sense.
It does, doesn't it?
And yeah, it's great.
Also,
Gosh.
you get like proper talent as well.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
this lady rocked up
Yeah.
at my house, I was saying how the reason I went through them was because I was using my dry cleaners and they kind of botched up a couple
Oh,
of
I
things.
know,
It's
me too.
so
It's
annoying.
so upsetting, and they don't really give a
And they don't
shit.
care. And I mean, this woman has had like
So
the
she
most
actually did these?
amazing career. Yeah, and she did these. And
Mine had
delivered
mine
them
had
back.
worked in New York for like the Row or somewhere.
Yes, I think we had the
God.
same lady.
Did she live in Ellsfield?
Yeah, no, she lives in Southfield. Yeah.
Southfield?
Yeah.
She was actually wicked.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Who did she work for in New York?
She worked for Victoria's Secrets and Myla.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. My sister's not too far away. I'm gonna
But-
have to put that as my address and go
Oh,
there.
I know
She-
Hodge was asking me
she-
for her details. I was like, okay, whoa, let's keep her in the circle.
It's not Laura's marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. Keep her in the circle. Anyway, she was absolutely amazing. So I fully recommend her.
Yeah, I do too. The seam, there you go. I think you can. Yeah,
That's one I need
it's
to
all
try.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they dropped these for me last night because I've got the same problem as you.
Yeah, everything.
Tiny
But
legs.
still, I like at the waist. I've got wider hips and I have a waist, so every pair of trousers I
Everything.
Yeah.
I have to get. Other than I have to say, I went to Sefin
I was
yesterday,
gonna say, yeah.
and I mean, Samantha Cameron freaking knows what she's doing. I was saying I always size up a couple of sizes in her blazers, but her trousers just fit me like a glove.
Beautifully
Yeah.
cut, aren't
And they are
Yeah.
so, and she's so particular on that. And she's a real pro. I think a lot of people don't know that she had a really impressive career in the fashion world. And she's incredibly nice, A. B, she's really talented.
I've actually just ordered some M&M. I don't know what you're going to say here when I say this, but they're cargo. I don't know if I'm like...
They could be thrilled. Are they a wide leg?
No, but
Well, I'm
no,
saying bottom
straight.
of the cargo.
No,
That's
they're
where I'm
straight.
struggling.
But I did see that you could pull them in at the bottom.
Yeah,
and I
that's
thought,
what me and Em do.
small
with their
person.
cargo
But really, then
sometimes.
cargo is a slightly different
More
proposition.
chic.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's a tailored
Yeah,
cargo.
okay.
Can I tell you what I did on Monday night? I cleared out my wardrobe with my daughter. Do you remember those like fur gilet things?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh my god. I pulled out my card. I mean,
Was it like a black one?
The
or-
fit, the
No,
like
it's
really
great.
thick one.
Yeah, they're like...
Yeah,
this. I
Oh.
actually found it on my Instagram and I showed Hodge after we went to theatre. She nearly fell off her chair. She was laughing so hard. Coco was like, oh my God, Mummy, that is like Sharpay from High School Musical. I was like, okay. And then I got out some cargos.
How have you held on to that for
I
so
don't know. Laura, I
long?
don't know. It was right at the back. And then I got out some J brand cargos, and I was like, "Oh, I've got some cargos." Coco was like, "Oh, cool. Can I have those?" And she went, "What? They're skinny." I was like, "They're J brand. Thanks very
They
much."
used to be all the
I
rage.
think I sort of remember those.
They were like,
They were
Florida
khaki, weren't they?
bestseller.
Yeah.
I
No,
feel like
they're grey.
JLo had those.
Oh, they were grey.
Had some other
Yeah.
ones from Zadig and Voltaire with like the strap. I
I
mean,
do remember those.
Toby.
Oh, so
are you wearing?
I'm Zara today, and then I love these shoes from Stella McCartney.
Yeah, I love.
You said your blazer was Zara. I'm loving your. I got some Anina Bing ones the other day with a slit. There. I
Slit.
love. Can we?
That's
And
so
your boots
cool.
And the
are
boot,
nice.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the boot.
They look
I
quite
really-
new.
Yeah, so these are very old Massimo Dutti, and I just don't wear them much. I forget about them, but they're
so
so
really
good
nice.
too.
and
I
they're
love
really
them.
comfortable as well. And yes, these are Zara, and I wasn't looking for jeans, obviously, because I've got about 5 million pairs. But
They're never quite right, though.
they're really lovely. And I quite like this shape at the moment. I'm quite into a bit of a different shape because they're not straight, and they're not flared. They're sort of somewhere in between.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to my Good American body.
I love.
Lovely.
I love how they're like scuba-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
kind of
love
like,
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not quite neoprene, but
Exactly.
sort of something like
I
that.
love it so much. I just bought a black one. Too.
I was going to say, do they do it?
Is that a body?
It's a useful
I do
one.
loads.
I just
Yes.
bought a
Yeah.
jumpsuit from there, and I'm not usually a fan of a jumpsuit because I like to hide the mum tum, but that jumpsuit just sucks you
Sucks you in
in.
at the right
It's
place.
just really comfortable.
good.
They're
Good
so
American.
They're really
clever.
good at what they
I've only
do.
just
They're really
discovered it.
good.
Yeah, Emma Green is amazing. She really knows what she's doing.
I think she is so good.
Yeah.
I'm agreed. I really want to interview you. I think she's so...
If you get her on,
can I
just stand by the door?
Yes, I think
think
she's
she's
so cool. And I
incredible.
love how... So I have been watching the Kardashians on Disney. And I watched it so many years ago. And Charlotte was like, Georgie, you've got to watch it on Disney. She's like, you will love it, from business houses, women, blah, blah, you will really love it. So I was like, okay. And I went away for 5 days on my own with a girlfriend for 3 of them.
What a dream.
I know. I drove on my own. It wasn't 17 hours.
Okay.
It was a few. I drove on my own and stayed in Somerset near Babington in a really lovely house from Unique Retreats. Shout out Unique Retreats. They kindly hosted me, full disclaimer, and literally read and walked. and listened to
perfect.
podcasts, and we ordered a detox kitchen delivery. We went to Babington for a pedi. I then took myself the next day when she'd gone for a massage. We went antiques hunting. Honestly, and we sat and watched the Kardashians. I'm nearly finished the second.
Okay, because I haven't watched any.
Oh,
So
it's
not
really
done.
good.
You
Yeah.
will do yourself a favour.
It's very different
Okay.
from
Yeah.
the
Boots out
original
Love
one.
Island one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
joking, I'm joking.
I'm nearly at the end.
It's
so I've got to
really
see
good.
that.
And actually,
Yeah,
I
it's-
listened to a podcast, I think it was Kim on Goop, and whatever you think of them, they've created this media platform that has allowed them to launch businesses. And whatever you think of them, like, they're totally self-made, and there's something really to be admired in that, I think.
I also think, she gets so much slack for everything she's done, but she's really smart, Kim. Like, this series goes into her legal career and her
Yes,
exams
yeah,
and that kind of
yeah.
thing. And she's really tenacious, and I really like that about
She
her.
is, and she's really got heart.
And she works
and
hard.
The work she's doing around death row.
Yeah.
It's no secret that I have. Well, we work with a couple of ex-offenders charities and helping ex-offenders get employment, and it's been something that I've been interested in since I'm sort of 18. My mother always looks at me and says, "I actually sent off to be Wing Governor Fast Track grad for the PAC when I was 18.
Wow.
And my mother was like, you are so contrary. But I'm like, you can be interested in
of
that
course you
stuff
can.
and like fashion
Yeah.
and I really look at Kim with like admiration
Yeah.
and what she's doing in that space and the exam she's doing,
Yeah.
she's doing it.
And she's got 4 kids. I mean, I know she has help and all the rest of it, but
She's quite a present mother.
She's a present. She's got
And they
4
have
kids.
good relationships with their exes.
Yeah.
As my friend said, it's a shame they all become, there are so many exes. I was like, well, yeah, that's fair. But it's quite ignorant, I think, to say they're absolute.
And the people around them, that's why I think Emma is so interesting, and her background and Emma's mum's background. I think Emma's mum was in investment banking. Maybe, I can't remember.
Right?
Her mum was a single parent, grew up in London.
Yeah.
And now Emma's just built this absolute empire, and she's invested in other businesses.
Yeah.
So
obviously
Emma
since-
Greed, for people watching, listening, is, is she the CEO of each Kardashian business? Is she the co-founder
So I
potentially?
can't remember the exact title, but I think she's co-founder of Good American. I can't remember the exact
And
title.
also
And Skims.
and Skims, and also there's a cleaning
one. Yeah.
Yes,
the
she's
mother.
invested.
Yeah.
And so her husband is behind Frame Denim.
Yeah.
Oh, along
Right.
with Natalie Massenet's husband.
Yeah, I was going to
Georgie.
say.
Yeah.
Jens Greed.
Jens,
yeah. I don't know
yeah.
if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emma.
Well, Emma is actually British.
Yes.
Based in LA, LA, New York,
Yeah, Ellie.
LA.
Not that I've ever met her.
She's super.
I remember
I'm looking at Toby like
I
you're
remember her
school
from
together.
back in the day because she used to work at a PR agency in London that used to organise all of the backstage passes for the shows.
She's a bit of a Xana Rassi,
yes.
the founder of Milk.
I used to work with Anna.
Did you? And Xana is from Manchester, I think, and now
Yeah.
it's quite sort of Americanised, not in a
Yeah.
critical way. Love Americans.
Yeah.
And I say Emma as well. She's actually British. You wouldn't necessarily know. Looking at her,
No,
but
you
she's
wouldn't know, yeah.
freaking cool. She's got
Great
great style.
style.
She's beautiful kids.
She's not lost her British
Beautiful
accent
home.
either, which I love. 'Cause
she's
she's
so
like,
strong because she's on Shark Tank as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
She's one of the judges on
Is
Shark
she?
Tank
Yeah.
in the US.
She's doing amazingly.
And
yeah.
she's
cool.
doing great things.
Can we just talk about your nails?
I'm obsessed with these. Okay, so these are I was explaining to Laura and Toby, my nail technician, who I found after so long looking. She lived 5 minutes around the corner from me. She was amazing. She retired very selfishly, aged 37. And so
She's doing well.
in the middle of trying to find someone else, I was in Primark with my daughter who was looking for something, and we were perusing the beauty bits and the
They're beauty bits.
and I saw these, and
So they're from Primark.
so these
I
are
can't
Primark,
believe that.
and I'm not joking. I've tried a couple of them. They are really good.
I just saw you peel one off over there. And
No, it
stick
pinged
back
off, which
in.
is where the
pinged
conversation
off.
came
Oh,
from.
I see.
and I stuck it back on. But I've had these on for a couple of days at least, and that's the first one that's pinged off.
Can I just have a closer look?
I'm
I'm really
so
sorry.
shocked.
If you are listening and not watching, then they are sort of, these are almond shaped French mani but pastel coloured tips.
Yeah.
They look so cool. A shout out for 14-day mani flexi tips. So 14-day mani are, full disclosure, a Lux & Co client, and they do DIY gel kits at home, which actually
I bought the kit.
Aren't they good?
Yeah, really good.
I've actually got into biosculpture.
Your nails are amazing.
Yeah, well, Painted by Jules did these. She
the
does Rosie Huntington Whiteley. I mean, she's freaking epic, that girl, and beautiful, and so nice. You actually have it in salons. Although Jules has come to my house, but you have it in salons, but it lasts like 3 weeks. It's thicker, it's shinier, it lasts better,
It's healthier for your nails.
Better
Oh,
for
is
your
it?
nails,
And even
yeah.
the way they remove it, so the remover, rather than like an acetone, it's actually like an oil-based remover, so it's actually healthier for your nail bed.
Ooh.
I'm clearly obsessed with biosculpture because they sent someone
So-
kindly to my house as well. And I used to do it in a salon in Wimbledon, but I don't live in Wimbledon anymore.
14-day mani is kits that you do at home, gel kits that you do at home, and they have like 3 different ways of removal. But they've also just launched these flexi tips, which we just did a shoot for. So they're these little gel tips, and you to put them on your nails, you put a bit of like they've patented it. It's almost like a bit of clear chewing gum. Oh, that sounds
so it
gross.
must be like
Or blue
builder
tack.
gel and
Yeah.
And it's,
you
put this,
shape
you put a
it.
tiny little dot
yeah.
of the sticky stuff on you, and then you put the tip
Yeah.
on
And then
top,
you cure it.
and then
Yeah.
you put it under the light. Ladies, we need to talk about successfully managing a career and a family. And Toby, again, such huge congratulations on your
Thank
book.
you so much.
It says on the back, Toby's advice is practical without judgment is because essential for anyone trying to blend a career and a family and navigating the challenges that come with it. You got quite a few women to contribute.
Yeah, I did.
You very kindly asked me to contribute. Can you just talk to us a bit about that? I couldn't believe how much there was to it. So you said to me, will you write a bit for the book. I thought it was just going to be like a series of essays. It's not.
No, it's not.
They are sort of scattered
wow,
throughout a load of work that you've done, and I hadn't quite appreciated that. And there is so. I remember you telling me you had to meet a certain word count, and it is. And I love the way it's set out. It's really.
Thank you.
I love the way you can consume content in a book like that. I think if you're going to be a sort of practical book,
You
it's
have to be able to dip in and
bite-sized.
out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think also weaving in stories of incredible women that have done the most phenomenal things, but also not have necessarily had a smooth journey, and just telling the reality of how it is, but also weaving in my journey and my experience, and just giving, I hope, women as many tips and facts and figures that they need really in one place. And I had to meet this certain word count, but when I got there I was like, I don't want to stop. There's just so much more that we need to share with women and parents and dads. So who knows, there may be number 2, but for me it was a great experience, but there's still more to say.
There's so much to say. I mean, I wrote some things down that I wanted to touch on, but I guess to you all, I mean, what advice would you give? I mean, it's a really general question, but you talked about having an employer and then going freelance. I mean, how did you manage first time around with 2 children and
I had
the demands
Yeah,
of
I
a
had,
full-time job where you had to be somewhere?
Yeah, so I had 2 very difficult maternity leaves with my first 2 kids. I was working, both of them, in an office environment earlier on in my career, and yeah, it was something that I didn't really know much about before I went off and had babies, obviously, because why would I? And it was something I didn't anticipate when I got back, how difficult it was, to kind of assimilate back into the workplace environment when you've come back from maternity leave and you feel all sorts of kind of weird vulnerabilities and your sense of identity is all, crazy and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, it was incredibly difficult because I was essentially sort of ousted from my positions both times, and this was 2 different companies. There were so many things that sort of went on to make it such a bad experience both times, but it was basically like getting cover for my role and then that cover not wanting to leave, and then that being really badly managed, to the point where I was just like, and in the first instance, I'd built a career there over 8 years, and it just got to the stage where I was like, I'm done, that's it, because it was just, so my experience with my third child when I was freelance was so different in the fact that I didn't have a maternity leave, but that was my choice. But there wasn't that kind of threat of like, oh my God, is my job still going to be there when I get back? And that was so refreshing. But actually, talking about his...
Isn't that awful though?
Talking about the
I
age
remember saying to Lou, your job is here.
Yeah.
It's never like... Legally, it has to be here, and it's here. You know. But how horrible to have that hanging over you.
But talking about the age gap, about why we waited so long, that 100% played a massive part in why there was that age gap. Because before going freelance 4 years ago, I was terrified of having another really bad experience, and so I made a conscious decision not to have a baby while I was at my last full-time job, because I didn't want to go through that again. And I might not have, it might have been different.
Would you do anything?
Do that.
Yeah. I loved it on the parenting show. Such a great parenting show.
Really good
that
show.
I had very little to do with while the panel, and so I didn't take any credit, but I loved it. And I love the thing that like dad guilt, just not a thing. Can't get home tonight, not putting children to bed, like guilt. There is no thing. Whereas I'm like, tonight we've got a senior team, managers team strategy, and then I have to be at a dinner and I can't go home, and I feel really bad that I'm not gonna. It's the second time this week I'm doing it, and neither could be helped, but I feel really bad about that. I'm like 2 nights this week, they won't see me now until the next day. But when and my husband calls, and it's not that he doesn't care, he's a very loving father. But it's just different, isn't it? Looking at your career and motherhood now, is there specific advice you would give to mothers? Is there anything you do differently and you'd want to share with them? Like, I guess, what would you say to people watching, listening about navigating and getting the blend, as it's such a brilliant name.
Thank you.
Getting the blend right. Is it ever perfect? No, that's part of the acceptance, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's really, for me, what I found most valuable as I was kind of transitioning out of full-time into freelance is just understanding what my priorities were. And that's not, they're not going to be the same for everybody. For some people it might be making bedtime 2 nights a week and that's enough and that's fine, and that's, but for others it might be bedtime every night or whatever it might be. And I think, having boundaries and finding my voice and being able to say no to certain things has been the biggest lesson for me and the biggest help in trying to figure it all out. So, I am a people pleaser by nature, and I think actually that's probably quite inherent in women, just full stop. But as soon as I started thinking, okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen if I say no, I can't make that meeting at 5:00 because I want to cook my kids dinner? Or
I think saying no and connecting your no to being a mother is something I think as a business, poor Laura sort of putting her in here, but I think as a business we are learning.
Because so when I went freelance, there was I think it's a sort of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because essentially your whole day is open. It's not just a 9 to 5. It's working in the evenings or doing whatever. And so people started asking to put meetings or calls in at school pickup time. And having had 3 years of literally not seeing my kids from morning till night because of my commute into London and all of this kind of stuff, that was really sacred to me, like that pickup time. And so I was like, well, no, I can't do that meeting then because I've got to go and get the kids from school. And people were like, because my husband works from home a lot of the time as well. So they were kind of like, well, he can. And I was like, no, that's just non-negotiable. Like, that's what I'm doing. And as soon as I started doing that, it was kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. When works for you? And it was such a revelation that the world didn't implode. And
you have to change as well. I think you have to not internalize it, and you have to you have to own it. And I also think that comes with confidence in your
age and experience
and your contribution to an organisation. It comes with time and knowing each other, doesn't it? I think it also has to be, and as an employer and a mother, and it's a two-way street, isn't it? And I think as long as you feel the person is committed to their job and does a really good job, you also, and I think I said it in the bit I wrote for the book, like, that if it doesn't work for a mother, at some point they're gonna enough is enough. And so if you value them, you have to.
It has to be sustainable for both parties, doesn't it?
And that a business has to be a business. I always say we're not a term-time business, and that's the hard thing, because mothers are some of our best staff, like hands down. And as Shaylots gets older, so do our team, and we have great retention. But you're not a term-time business, but you're also like, God, it's got to work for these mothers somehow. Otherwise, it's just, okay, some don't have a choice, but for some, maybe there is another way.
But ultimately, don't you think, as an employer, that if you, and this goes back to my maternity experiences, if you show your staff that they are valued and that you believe in them and that that they can be productive, and you give them the opportunity to do pick up or go to a parents' evening or whatever it might be, I know as an employee that I probably work twice as hard if I know that my employer gets it and understands and gives me enough leeway to go off and do that. I'm so grateful for that, because that hasn't always been my experience.
Because also you get mum guilt, but you get work guilt as well.
And it never, neither of them ever end.
Almost do double, well not double, but you
you do.
You're going extra fast.
Because you appreciate.
You've got to squeeze that in, and you feel like you need to respect the business.
It's really interesting that McKinsey did a small study on fathers that had taken some kind of leave, and it is in the book. And these fathers actually said at the end of it that they felt that they used their time better, they're more strategic with their time, they really valued their time at home now and at work, and also they were more loyal to their companies. I think it's really interesting. That study is a small study, but I think that those studies need to be magnified, because we're beating the drum about it a lot as women, and it's not changing fast enough. But sadly, I think if we magnify studies where men are saying, actually, I've taken some extended leave to raise my family, and here have been the benefits for me, I feel like more organisations will probably listen and actually realise we need to change things for everybody. Yes, definitely women, for sure, because we take on the brunt of childcare and etc. But also, if we make it easier for men, it means we will have more choices about.
Yeah, make it
You know,
easier
how
for
we
them
do
to do it. That's why I always say to my
Exactly.
husband, you've got to lead the way. You've got to demonstrate. You know, you've got to show the other people in your team
Absolutely.
that it is okay to go to the church service or go to it. And yeah, look, there are times when he's like, I've got clients, I'm a hired help.
Yeah.
I don't get that right. But when you do, because you need to show the next generation and model to them. And biology is biology. Like, we are always going to be the ones that give birth and can breastfeed. And that is why it's never going to, you know, however much progress, that's never going to change. But those studies are so important, aren't they? And that we PR them, we talk about them, because otherwise it's just a load of women beating the drum.
So we do
To men, you're like, here they go again.
We do speak to a dad in the book who, and he's very senior and very smart in the banking world, and he's done shared parental leave 3 times.
Great.
Yeah. And we have this long conversation. In some ways, I wish we recorded this conversation, but just hearing his experience and how beneficial and how important it is to him that he's been able to do this 3 times. It's wonderful.
Is he an anomaly in his company, do you think, or is it?
Yes, so I think most men that I've encountered that have done this have probably been the first or one of the very few that have done it. So my advice to men, if they are watching, or women, go and tell your partners.
Yeah, women go and tell your partners.
Go and tell your partners. If you are a man and you want to do it, have these conversations really early on, because the organisation's probably figuring out
I was
how
going
to
to
make
say, I
it
feel
work
like debit
along
is
the way.
becoming much more a thing now. Isn't
Yes,
it? I know
parental-
my
I-
husband's company now offer.
Do they?
Yeah.
Paid.
I don't know.
There's a
the
difference
actual-
between offering it and men actually
Yeah.
doing
Taking
it.
it out. Yeah.
It's not paid. And
Sometimes it can be, yeah, it depends. Like
Okay.
some organisations are amazing. So if
Right.
the woman gets 6 months paid, the dad can also get 6 months paid. There's not many companies like that.
Okay.
But there are some offers like that on the table.
But that's the norm in like a lot of Scandinavian countries, for example, isn't it? Which is amazing.
they are so
Scandinavian.
And that,
Yeah.
that
so many
real
ways, aren't they?
onus
Paving
of
the way for so
equality.
much.
Yeah.
Nora, what would you say about age, about stage,
I feel
about
like
the
I'm
juggle?
getting it better now. I think there were times when I just absolutely wasn't. I was trying to be everything at work, everything at home, and it was a complete car crash for quite a long time, actually. And in hindsight, you look back at the time, you think you're doing it, don't you? But then you look back and you're like, what was that? That was mad. So I think you just got to be really strict at putting in your own rules. It's difficult because companies move so quickly these days, and you've got to find what your skill is and really show them what you got. But yeah, I think
You've got a lot.
Thank
Got a
you.
lot.
But I think you've got to make your own. That nobody else can do that for you. That is down to you, and you've got to be really.
Yeah, work out what you want, what's
Work out
what's
what you
important,
want, exactly.
and then work out how you're going to make that happen. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's really hard. It's never perfect. I
No.
think that's the reality. It's really hard, but I think both can be rewarding, and I think you can enjoy. For me, I think I enjoy motherhood more.
Absolutely.
I'm working, I take my hat off to full-time mothers, and it is
100%.
meant with no criticism. One of my greatest friends, she is like my pin-up role model of what a full-time. I mean, it's the hardest job in the world. That I am not like. That's not off the cuff. Like I truly believe.
I mean, I go to work to escape having to
Having to make book day costumes.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, I don't say lightly, but I do think you have to accept it's never perfect. It's never. I had this acceptance, this realization quite recently, and I think for so many years I've sort of read articles from women who've inspired me and listened to them and and they will say, you know, when I'm at home I'm fully present, and when I'm at work I'm, and I had this thing, and I remember saying to my daughter, I was like, I've just realised that that's not my approach.
Yeah.
And when I'm at home, you know, I can go to the play, I can go to take my son out from school. He's at school out of London. I had to leave work at 3:00 the other day because I had to get to his church service. But like, I had to be there, and the thought of him looking for me and me being late, and I was like, I have to go now. And someone said, can I just ask you one more thing? And I'm like, yeah. And I'll be late to get home. I was like, no, I have to go now. And then I got to his school, and I had to then look at something, and I said to my children, I said, I've realised, I said, lots of people say, you know, be fully present. I've realised that that's not me. And when I'm a mother, I'm still running a business, and I have responsibilities there so that people can get on with what they need to do. And that might require me sitting here watching a movie with you and doing the odd email, or if someone texts me and says they need something, I've got to respond to that. And that might be annoying, but you've just got to suck that up. But when I'm at work, I'm still a mother.
It's not like you've shut off from it.
You know,
is it? Yeah.
we were in a meeting the other day and someone was like, oh, that's my child's school. And I was like, go, you know, and I will go out of a meeting because my child's doctor's calling me or whatever. And I think it's okay to be a mother at work and a career woman at home.
Yeah.
And we're lucky now, we've got phones and we can.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's
And that to me that's been quite liberating though, both. Because I always felt I didn't look professional at work. But
it's who you are,
and
right?
at home,
part of
I look like a bad mother.
Well, I think that's exactly it. It is who we are.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be ashamed to have a job. And we shouldn't be ashamed
And
to
I
be
think
a
it's
mother.
also...
And our children can see it, and our staff can see it.
Yeah.
And actually, my children, they get it. And we are all so many mothers, and we all get it. And we, you know, when someone's got to run home to the child, we're all like, go. And we do muddle together and work it out, don't we?
I think it's important as well, just quickly to say that it's always fluid. Like, you've never got it set. Like, the juggle, the blend is never, well, for me anyway, you know, it's always movable. One week I might be, you know, 9/10 of the time sort of in mum mode doing things because it's a really busy World Book Day or whatever it might be, and then the next week I'm doing a project that really requires more focus at work, and so my husband picks up more of the slack and that kind of thing. Like, it's a movable feast all the time. You know, and you've got to be adaptable as you can,
and communicate with people.
And communicate, and
answer a lot of WhatsApp.
Exactly.
A lot.
Yes.
No, that's a whole other podcast.
I'm going to start a campaign which is WhatsApp tokens. Where in each school WhatsApp group you only get a certain number of tokens a turn.
I'll sign it.
Yeah.
I'm up for that.
Toby, I think you're absolutely brilliant. I think you are an incredible role model. There is so much in this book, from pay to allowance. Remember, you're entitled to your holiday that you accrue and your maternity leave. It's kind of shock as an employer the first time you realise you've got to pay that. But, you know, about planning. I mean, one thing I would say is, if you've got a side hustle, you're going to start a business, get on, do it. Don't do it when you've had your first baby and you suddenly decide you can't go back to the corporate world of banking. Start it early. I would say, if you've got a plan for your own thing, sooner the better. I mean, there is so much in here. There's stuff in here about fertility, loss, investing in yourself, looking after yourself. It is really incredibly thorough. And it's brilliant, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope it's a huge success. I'm sure it will be. Thank you, ladies. I've talked way too much. You'll have Charlotte back next time and you'll have less of the host talking. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed that, then do please rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to listen or watch too, and we'll be back soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.